All right, this week on Blind Cooking with Jeff, we're going to do a beef stew with a little bit of Cowboy Kent Rollins and a little bit of Julia Child's recipe mixed. I rendered down some thick cut bacon to get a little grease and a little olive oil and some flavor. We're going to start browning some of the vegetables. The carrots and the onions. We're going to add some garlic to this. Once it browns up a little bit, we're going to add it to the pot. Then we're going to start on the beef. All right, we added the minced garlic. For those of you who know, the reason we add it a little later is so it doesn't burn and get bitter, because that would be a not so good flavor. All right, we're back. We got our cubed meat drying because the recipe calls for a drier meat, not too wet. And we got our farmer ground all-purpose flour because it also calls for a dusting of flour along with the spices, right? Which is going to help towards the end with the thickening of the sauce, you know? So just a light dusting. I'm going to throw some spices, flip them over, do the same thing. We got our good girl assistant, Ollie Bear, quality control, checking out everything. And we're going to throw that in the skillet, brown it, and then we're going to add it to the stew pot. All right, we turned our beef over in the bowl. Just going to add a little salt, a little garlic powder. And we're going to add some pepper just at this point. A little more flour and then toss. Okay, so the meat has already been browned on 3.5 to 4 sides. And I'm also browning the whole baby onions, the pearl onions. Those are going to be in there as well. Getting all those ingredients together. I'm about to go ahead and deglaze this pan with a little bit of red cooking wine, which will be the beginning of our sauce. And I'm also going to add our beef broth. Okay, here goes my deglaze. Let's hope I make the French chefs proud. Get all that goodness and that flavor. It brings it up and it brings it right into the dish. Everything that's been cooked goes right into that flavor profile. And this, like I said, this is going to be the start of our broth here. And I have beef stock. I said broth. I already got that going a little bit so we don't lose some temperature here. Here we go. Okay. We are going to use this pan again a little bit after. I got to cut the potatoes and I got to brown up some mushrooms to put in there. We're going to put them in a little bit after that starts cooking for a while. All right, I got it up to a nice boil. Now I'm going to lower it to a simmer. How to get it up to heat. We're going to go ahead and add some cubed potatoes. Half on the floor, half in the pot. Hard to work with one hand here with the phone. All right, there we go. And then last, I'm going to do the mushrooms in the pan with a little bit of butter and flour to make a little roux of mushroom and then throw it in. And that'll help thicken up this. And then we're going to let it simmer for like 2 hours. All right, we got our mushroom butter flour roux cooking down. I added a little bit of butter more at the end just to kind of get it a little more liquidy. That's going to be our final addition to the pot. Then we're going to let it cook low and slow for about 2 hours. All right, that's pretty much it for the ingredients. I added the mushroom with the light roux. Added some thyme, some parsley. It's already got plenty of garlic, onion, salt, and pepper. So Shouldn't need much more seasoning than that. We're gonna cover it, put it low, simmer it, see how it comes out. Hopefully nice and tender, thick and juicy. Little addendum, I forgot the half a can of tomato paste, so I'm gonna add it now. We haven't been cooking for too long. I took a little bit of the hot liquid from in there just to kind of stretch it and soften it up a little bit, but add a half a can, a couple tablespoons of tomato paste to that. Let me tell you one thing. The kitchen smells great. I'm gonna check it now. This is about an hour and a half of simmer. I'm gonna give it a quick stir and see how the liquid is setting up. All right, there we go. We gave it about another 15-20 minutes with the lid off so it could thicken up a little bit, cook off a little bit of that liquid. All right. Now we're gonna serve it up. Here we go. Look at that. Beef stew, aka beef bourguignon, from Julia Child and Cowboy Kent Rollins. Oh wow, look at that. That's delicious. 3 scoops for the chef.